Hello everyone, welcome back to the Reading Laravel source code series. And today I want to do something different, a little bit different. Last episode, we saw that the kernel uses the pipeline to handle the request, right? The middlewares are pipes and the requests passed through the pipes to allow each pipe to change it or do not call the next if the middleware doesn't want to. So I thought it would be a good idea to implement something using the pipeline so I would understand a little bit better the concept and how it works. And the thing that came into my mind was an AI worker. So this is the structure I created. We have an abstract class here that implements things related to the pipeline. So basically the AI worker is using pipelines to implement the actions. So you can add actions as pipes, right? And you will pass the result, that's the worker result, through these pipes, and each pipe will do whatever it needs to store the result or something else, right? So that's the idea. And I created this abstract class here because I don't want to be specific to any large language model. So any model that wants to implement this interface will have to, of course, create a subclass and implement the details related to the model, right? So I implemented an OpenAI assistant, AI worker, that will implement those actions like upload the file, message, handle the result, and based on previous file. This is just to use an attachment, right, with a message. So this is all work in progress, and it's not production ready, of course. And I don't know if it will be any day because I feel like this is not very unique. But it was a good exercise, and I wanted to show how it works. And the other part of the structure, it's just a worker result, because the worker result will have a result array that each action will be able to set its results, right? And then you can work, this is the actual thing that's passed through all the action pipes. So let me show you how it works here. So this is an example, a code example. First, you have to instantiate your worker, and you have to pass the API key and the assistant ID. And don't worry, I will delete this API before the video goes live. So once you have the API, you can start just setting your tasks. So you want to, based on a file, generate a list of events that the file has, right? And you want to filter the events. You just want the political events that the file has. So here I upload the file, the 2010 PDFs events that I got from Wikipedia. And then I say with previous file attached. This is just to make sure your message here will have that uploaded file as an attachment, so OpenAI can read it. Of course, this could be uploaded to a vector as well and use it from there, but this is just a proof of concept, right? So you say you want to create a list of all events presented in the attached document that are related with politics. You want to a JSON back, right, with the event date and the description. That's it. And then this third method here is just an example of how you can use the handle result to register a pipe to do anything you want to with the result, right? Even before the AI worker returns with the final result. This will be, you will be able to, for example, in the middle of a process, a complicated process, register a handle result that changes the result of the previous calls, right? So in here, I'm just echoing the last action result. And you can see that I use the result here. This is actually an AI worker result object, and it implements some helper methods for us, like this one. So this one will just print whatever, echo whatever comes from the previous task, right, action. So that's an example. So you configure your AI worker and then you call execute, and I will show you how that working right now. So let me just copy this here, and I will go to the Tinker. I will instantiate my worker, right? So I have a AI worker there. Now I can just paste the command to upload the file. You see 2010 with previous file attached. I want to create a list, right? Presented in that document with all events related with politics. So this, even if it's ChatGPT 4, it doesn't really handle it very well. You get lost. So you can see here API. So now I have an API type configured, the actions, right? And I will show how the code works a little bit. Just call result equals AI worker execute. And now it's, of course, taking a little bit of time. And under the hood, I'm doing all the checks necessary to know if the run it's finished. I'm creating the threads, even if you don't have an action here to create a thread. I added that manually, automatically, because you can't really use the assistant if you don't create a thread. So that's kind of a requirement. And now you have the answer. It did a pretty good job, but it's missing January events. I'm pretty sure there are events here that are political events, like this one, withdrawals from Africa Cup nations. Here, civil war officially ends. Honduras withdraws from ALBA. So there's a lot of political events here that ChatGPT, even the version 4, couldn't find in the attachment, right? So what we do to really get all the events and, well, maybe not all, but most of them, we can improve the prompt. And that's where I think this AI worker helps a lot, because you can do something like this. You can come here. Let's see the example. This is a second example. You have your AI worker and you say upload the file, the same file, and then you just say the same thing. Create a list of events, February events, but this time it's just 1 month at a time, right? So ChatGPT will be able to focus on just 1 month, and it will produce better results because you are actively asking it for February. Then here, see, I can add another action, a message saying repeat the same process as before, but this time for March, right? And because this is a thread, an OpenAI assistant thread, it will have in its context all the previous messages and the attached file. So you don't waste tokens to send the attached file again once more, etc. You can keep working from here. And let's just run this one and see how it goes. So copy this one. It's correct. Create all February, then repeat the same process as before, but this time for March. Yeah. Let's just change to the Tinker. Instantiate my API worker again. And right now I'm not checking if the file is already uploaded there. Something we could do and we should. But yeah, it's just a concept. So we want actually this command, right? Create a list and then do the March events list. And you can see here, each action you have to pass the ID of the action and whatever a parameter the action requires. So in the case of the file, you have to pass the ID, file upload here, right? And the file. And with the rest of the actions in this case, you pass the ID, the prompt, and this one handle result, it should just allow you to execute something, as I said, with the previous result, right? So let's just run this, and it will take a little bit more time because it will have 2 messages, right, to answer. And while this is executing, you can see that here, any action that you pass, it's a pipe that the AI worker adds into its own pipeline. So you can virtually keep adding actions here until, of course, you run out of context space with the language model, right? But there you go. So here, this is the result of the march, and this is happening, this is echoing here, just because of this handle result that I'm echoing the last action result, right? And the last action result is the March events list. And you can see that it, on March 26th, the Fox Cheonon, a South Korean, yeah, so it's kind of political because they blamed North Korea, which denies, etc. So this makes sense. And if we can see here in the file, March has just 3 items. And the one that I think, yeah, because this is not political. This is also not, well, everything is political, but you know what I mean. So here you can also not only access the last result via this echo here, but you can do something like this. Echo result. I want the February events list. So that's how you get it. You go result, get action result, and you use the same ID that you used to register that task. And the February here, right? February 10, February 18, and those are also political events. And February doesn't have only that, it has many, many more. But I think those are the main ones, political ones. And if you do var dump on the result, you can see that it's an object with all the results here. So you have an actions result. The first one, it's to it was to create the thread. So the result, it's just an OpenAI PHP OpenAI object, because I use that under the hood to avoid having to write my post request to OpenAI. So that's stored here if you want to double check or debug, right? The file upload is also a OpenAI response, create response. And the February list, it's here, right? And the March, it's also here. So you have all the events, all the actions results in one object that you can just start working with it after the process is finished. So now let's take a look at the code quickly. I don't want to go too much over the time. This is on GitHub. I'll add into the description of the video. And again, it's not production ready, far from it, but it's just a proof of concept to work with the pipelines, the Laravel pipelines, and feel a little bit how that works. So you can see here, every time you call an AI work constructor, it will instantiate a pipeline, a new pipeline. Those are the abstract interfaces you have to implement, right? This handle result, it's also, it's already implemented here because it's just registering a callback, right? So you don't, it's not dependent on the large language model. What you're doing there, it's just returning, registering a callback. The add action. This is a wrapper around the pipes that are registered. And here, so far, I'm using just callback pipes. But this is a wrapper around it. The specific implementations of the AI worker, they don't add things into the actions pipe directly. It's private. Because I want to do the logic of storing the result, right? So I call the callable that's passed as an action here. If there's a result, I set the action result using the ID, and then I call the next action. So this is how the pipeline works. You have you receive the thing being passed through the pipes, in this case the AI worker result, and you receive the next action to be called. Right? It in this case is just a callable, right? So that's the add action. We have the execute. So the execute, if there's no worker result, it will create a new one. But you can also execute passing a worker result. So you can, even after you finished the execution of your pipes, your tasks, if you store the worker result and call another time, configure more actions, right, and call it again, passing the worker result, the AI will reuse the thread. So that's good because you can reuse the all the content that you built. You don't have to build it again on the context of the thread, right? And then this is actually where the pipes are called. So the actions is the pipeline. We are sending the worker result through the pipes, and then returning. This is a Laravel function to just return the thing that's being passed through the pipes, which is the worker result. Right. So that's how it works. This here, it's just to clear the actions if you want to reuse, right? The AI, you don't need to instantiate a new one. And here in the OpenAI assistant work, I just, this is more related with OpenAI and how you create threads, how you upload files, right? How you pass attached files to the message. And this one here, for example, wait for run to complete. This is actually called whenever you have a message callback, whenever you have a message action. This is a message callback because it's reused through between the message and the message with attachment. Right? If you have other actions, you would probably need to wait for run to complete as well. So that's why I already isolated that into a private method here. And this is very, very hacky. I just added some interval and max tries to keep checking if the thread is over, right? And I added a really big number here. So it will try 40 times with 4 seconds between the tries. So it will be 2 minutes and a half, right? And 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So maybe this won't, maybe this will need a better implementation. I'm not sure how exactly. I know that OpenAI has that streaming option. It feels better. But again, for the sake of simplicity, I just used this for now. And the last thing I wanted to show, it's the AI worker result. And this is just really a helper class where you can store the results. And this is the thing that's being passed through the pipes, right? And any pipe can, well, the pipes, they don't do that by themselves because the AI worker wraps around them the callback to do that by them, for them. And you don't need to worry about that when you're implementing a specific worker, specific LLM worker, right? And I think that's that. So the code it's here in, well, it's on GitHub. I will add a description, a text on the description with the link. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see in the next episode of Reading Laravel where we start actually reading more about how the kernel will bootstrap the app, right? So take care and bye-bye.